Hi, this is Jay Norris, author of Mastering the Currency Market. Welcome to the report. Today's Thursday, February the 3rd here in the States. Before we get to the charts, I need to point out that trading futures and Forex is a risky endeavor and not suitable for all investors. The charts we're looking at are real-time market snapshots and may not be replicated going forward. Australian US dollar off to the upside today. Aussie breaking away from the pack. You had some dollar strength against the European currencies, but that wasn't the case for the King Kong or carry trades, the Aussie USD. So pretty good upside. She broke out earlier in the week on Monday. You see it broke above the weekly trend, puts itself in a very good position to shift that weekly directional line higher. Currently, you're up on the monthly, weekly, and daily. It's looking good for the big bull that the Aussie is. Next market, the Euro US dollar. The Euro must have been listening when we put that trend line in there. See, we finally added that trend line. Where is that? All the way back to the 09 highs. Yeah, the DSO9 highs, and then you connect to that the November high, and that comes in somewhere around 140. And boy, the market got a little sniff of that, and she didn't like it. You had that very small day up there. The body was inside the previous candle, but you had a higher high. Anyway, you had a little pin doji, I suppose we could call that, and that indecision led to a pretty good downstroke today. So, the Euro, pretty good rally, up on a lot of different time frames. However, you turned around pretty good on the daily. You actually shifted the daily. So it could have been, you see that quite a bit Thursday into Friday. You get a correction on a market. So we'll have to see if that's a correction or possibly the beginning of something else. But she's awful weak, the Euro. Given strength in the other asset class markets. Well, I shouldn't say other asset class market. The Euro is not an asset class market. Technically, it has a very small yield, but, it went by the wayside, even though you had a stronger U.S. stock market and you had a stronger Aussie U.S. dollar. Next market, pound dollar. Pound dollar, you had some pretty good upside, too. We were talking yesterday. Well, it looks like you're going to test that monthly level. We'll see what's beyond there. Well, I'll tell you what, you can't look for anything beyond there just yet because you have a pretty big double top in place, don't you? And that'll show up on the weekly, on your weekly chart. You came to that same level, and you got a double top, pretty good divergence there also. So, it may be time where I was thinking a long-term range 170. Well, 163 is a big level right here. It could easily come down and correct out of there and work its way back down. Maybe retrace this move here. I suppose we need to put a trend line on that. So, certainly not unrealistic at all to think we could get a potential, or we have a retracement in the making here. We'll have to watch that, though. Next market, we'll take a look at the CAD today. I passed her up yesterday. I check in with the CAD every now and again. It's a boring market for a trend trader. Oh, look at that. Yeah, we missed it. We kind of took a day off from it. We saw the big turnaround here. It looks like we took 2 days off from the CAD, right? And you see how it shifted right back in line with that big overall downtrend there. And that's what markets do. Let me see if there's a trend line intersect involved there. Yeah, man, look at that. Got to the trend line, turn it right back around, and whack it back in line. So that's a bear. Next market, the Chief. Come on, Chief. Yeah, there you go. Okay, we talked about the potentially big double bottom in the Chief. Here, let me Let me show you the future, because to me that's easier if I'm looking at the euro, the pound, and they're all going in the same direction. Then we go euro, Swiss, and we kind of look at the opposite, the mirror image of it. Let me go to a futures chart here. I may just stick with futures because that's easier for me than 6 Swissy. Then they're all moving in the same direction. You know, I don't have to look at that mirror image. Oops, wrong number there. There we go. This will be the Swiss future. And I like that because it's much easier for me to look at the euro, the pound, than the Swiss future. So I can get it's easier to get a better feel for them instead of looking at that flip side dollar Swiss. This is the Swiss US dollar. If you're thinking, hey, that's a different chart to look at. And there you see the big double top. Slightly lower high, a lot of divergence. So potentially big double top here. And this would fit my theme. I'm saying dollar Swiss overall. You're probably putting in grinding out a long-term bottom. This chart, it would be the mirror image that you're grinding out a potential long-term market top. And that's the Swiss future, which from my perspective is a little bit easier to look at. I don't know why they had to design that dollar Swiss. It'd be great if it was just like the futures contract here. And there you can see the big bull market, higher high. Interestingly, look at the divergence on that, divergence, as they would say in New York. So, you know, something to look at. So dollar Swiss, potentially a big double top in the making here in the Swiss US dollar market. Let's go, and let's take a look at the yen future also here, and that'll actually give us a different perspective on this. Yen future, it'd be instead of dollar yen, we look at yen future, and then we get a better look-see at the market from that perspective. And there, you know, I've been saying you're potentially carving out a big rounded bottom in the dollar yen. Here's yen dollar or yen future, where you can see potentially that big top here. There's a slightly lower high coming in here. So we'll have to see what that gives us. Let me see a weekly. Well, we'll peel all the way out to the monthly. Gives us some good perspective here. Something different to look at. Okay, this is your yen future. It'd be the mirror image of dollar yen, and there's your long-term trend line on that guy. Here's your short-term trend line on the monthly chart, which would be a long-term trend line on the daily chart, right? So that's your long-term trend line in the daily. Now we pop down to a daily, and we could see that, you know, potentially you're getting a very interesting area, 124. That's going to be the equivalent of a 180 or so in dollar yen. So, you know, yen looking very interesting. Yen future, look at the divergence, potential long-term top in the making, and that would be the equivalent of a long-term bottom in dollar yen. Let's take a look at the almighty U.S. stock market. You know, interestingly, to me, the stock market's a great risk barometer, and we're all concerned about what's going on in Egypt. That's very serious. I mean, even if it weren't the biggest, you know, the most populous country in that part of the world, you know, we're still concerned about it. You know, people are trying to raise families, and it's tough enough, you know, hard times. You know, you live in a big city like Cairo, and, you know, there's always things to worry about. But my God, the weight they have on their shoulders now. So we're all concerned about that. We're all saying a prayer for that, rightfully so. What's very interesting from a trading perspective, just being completely objective and look at the market. The market's telling us it's going to have a positive outcome there. Let's hope it does. But interestingly, the stock market's not worried about the most populous country in that part of the world and the troubles they're having. So let's hope the market is right this time and it works out and the good people in Egypt get a democracy and they get to help choose their leader and they have the freedom to change that leadership. And it all works out. But there you go. U.S. stock market looking great, looking strong. I mean, that's a bull market. You eclipsed that long-term 66% retracement of the the '08 panic, and from a lot of professional traders' perspective, guess what? This is no longer a bear market, but this is the beginning of a new bull market. So we'll have to see how that plays out. So, hey, I'm Jay Norris. I wrote Mastering the Currency Market, and I'll be back. We'll be probably back with a weekly wrap-up on the weekend. This will be it for the week, and you may check in on Saturday and catch our weekly report. Thank you very much.